What's going on? YouTube, Insight, Honda Insight Generation 1 restoration video. I think this is number 4, and had some time today, about an hour or so. Got some things done. So this is the big news today. This is my S2000 wheel. I just installed it. Very easy install. There's other installs on YouTube, so I'm not going to talk about it, except I do want to share one thing I learned. I actually wish I had brought mine along on this drive so I could compare them. But just look at my other videos, or if you have an Insight, you know what it looks like. They look exactly the same. A lot of people say that when they're advertising about the Insight, they say it has an S2000 wheel, which is not true. It is shaped just like the S2000 wheel, and the airbag is identical. That is my Insight airbag with an S2000 wheel. The thing that's different is the Insight wheel is gray and it's foamy. It's sort of like a Honda Civic from this year, because I have one. I have a 98 Civic. It's very similar. It's not the wheel, but the texture and the padding. It's like this soft foamy stuff. Up here it gets real yucky and kind of degrades and like flakes off. So this fits perfectly on there. It's the exact same shape. It's just leather. And the later S2000s have a perforated. I prefer this one. It's not perforated. It's just solid. It looks really great, I think. I got this for about $150 shipped without the airbag. Again, I just reused my Insight airbag. And I took the cruise control buttons off. Some people use those for, you can use it for like a clutch switch or a like an engine off, so you can coast and get 1,000 miles per gallon. But I just removed them since I'm not using them, and I can always put them back on later. So the thing I wanted to share with you that might help if you're watching this and thinking about doing this, and I'll say this too, when I'm filming this, I found 3 or 4 for like $150, $200 on eBay. 3 or 4 or 5 months ago, when I did my first Insight, my blue one, they were like $300 or $400 without the airbag. So I don't know what's happening with the market. It's strange, but it's like back then they were really pricey, and they're like, I was surprised. I was budgeting $300 and it was $150. Like 170 shipped, something like that. So anyhow, such a great upgrade. Feels so good, and I got one that's almost in perfect shape, so I'm super happy. When you take it apart, none of the installs I saw mention this, but make sure what you got to do is, so this is the piece that fits behind the airbag, and the piece for the Insight is it's like this. Instead of this black plastic, it's a white plastic, or like a cream whitish off-white color. So you have to take this out just using these 3 hex bolts, 1, 2, 3. They're in the triangle pattern. You got to take it off your Insight wheel and put it onto the S2000 wheel. And the reason is the airbag switch fits into this little section here, and the airbag switch on the S2000 is a little bit different. It does hook up perfectly because you're not putting any S2000 pieces on. You're using the Honda female from the car and male from the airbag, and they're both the Insight pieces. So but anyway, you'll have to swap this out, so it's just those 3 bolts, and otherwise the switch won't fit in this bracket. This bracket's too small. This is the S2000 bracket. The Insight bracket, again, it's white here instead of black, the plastic. Other than that, it looks identical, and the bracket here is larger. So I got that done and just drove it to make sure the alignment was good, and it was perfect. Another tip rather, is I just took a silver Sharpie and I just drew a line both on the wheel and then the peg piece that comes out that you put the wheel onto, and I just drew a straight line, and then that way when I pull the old one off and I put the new one on, I could line it up exact. And so I'm really happy because I just drove a couple miles. The alignment is still seems to be perfect. A couple other things I did. This is silly, but I put some new pedals on there, and got some new stickers just installed, and really happy with how these came out. I actually noticed this too. The last one I eyeballed it. With this one, I noticed that the decal that Honda sells you comes with a little slant, so you just fit the slant up and peel it off, and it goes on there perfect. So and then the other thing I did was I finished my wheels, and they look really good. Last video I talked about it. Are they perfect? No. I could still polish them some more probably, but they came out really good. And I'll show you a product I used, and I started by hand on this, but then I ended up just grabbing a buffer because this stuff's expensive. It's like $14 for a bottle at Walmart, but it totally is worth it. That made a difference. So it's a metal polish that's supposed to remove oxidation. Again, they're not perfect, but pretty good. They came out pretty good, I think. So a lot better than they were, that's for sure. And that's in the sun, so you can see in the sun's going to show the flaws. And I could probably go back and get these better, and probably will at some point. As of right now, I'm probably going to be done with those wheels. I've spent several hours on them, so. But they look really good. So that is it for today. It's she's coming along. S2000 steering wheel. Go get one. Later.